Welcome to today's episode of Jazz Beats, your #1 podcast for jazz news and entertainment. Here are your hosts, Jackson and Tyson.
Welcome back to another episode of Jazz Beats.
Preseason is over.
Preseason's over. The new season for the new team, the new court, the new look. Everything's new this year. It
is crazy.
It's exciting.
So is the excitement.
Okay.
Is new in good and bad ways.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about preseason games. Preseason is over.
Yes.
We're going to talk about those games. We're going to talk about the upcoming draft. I know it's a long ways away, but it's a big
all of
topic.
Our cards are in the draft.
It's a big topic. And then we got some special stuff going on for you guys. So you're going to want to stay tuned.
Yeah.
Again, we're Jazz Beats. I am Jackson. This is Tyson.
Hello.
Happy to be here. Preseason. It was weird. That first game, seeing all new guys. We only have 3 guys from last year.
Yeah.
In Conley, Clarkson, and Rudy Gay. What was that like for you?
I watched the preseason games. I know that a lot of people don't bother with that. But my wife walked in and she asked what game I was watching. She didn't even recognize the Jazz because, like you say, the jerseys were different. The players, nothing looks the same. The way they move on the court, no big giant French guy in the middle, and just the coach was different.
Yep.
And it was a whole new experience. I felt like I was from out of town, kind of watching a visiting team.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. It was kind of energizing for me though. Like,
yeah.
Because we've been the same team for like 3 years now. We knew what to expect. We had expectations, and I'm going to say I was kind of hard on us when we didn't compete or we didn't do those.
Right. Well, because we knew everybody's faults.
Right.
And we were like, here we go again. And you're not good. And what did I saw that coming. Why did you do that? You always do that. Stop doing that.
Yeah, it seems like every game we've had, was it 4 games? 4 preseason games?
4 preseason games.
Every game we've learned so much about guys, which is fun.
It's good, right? Like,
yeah.
We need to be able to see each player on the court, and we got to see a lot of that. I mean, there was rotations that we'll probably never see again the rest of the year, but it was way fun to see the different players playing on the court.
What did you think about our giant rotation? Did you catch that? We had Kessler at center.
Right.
We had Olynyk in there and Markkanen, all 7 foot plus. Olynyk's probably close to that, but 3 huge guys in there at a time, and it was cool.
Kessler, can we jump right into
I
this?
would love to talk about Kessler.
Kessler, he looks like a tall coach. He looks like Will.
Yeah, they're identical twins.
Yeah, at birth. Okay. But our coach is the runt of the two. So. Okay, so have you seen The Longest Yard with
Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Yeah. So the new Longest Yard.
Yeah. And they drug one of the guys and they give him some medication and it makes him a little bit soft and his feminine side comes out. I mean, I hate to say it, but Kessler needs, I don't know if he's taking that or what, but he needs to man up, okay? He can't be so soft in the paint.
Okay.
If he's going to make it in a regular rotation, he's got to be tough with the ball, and he's too casual for me. I don't see him getting any positive stats because he's just not strong enough in the paint. They're just going to tear him apart. Can you imagine him against Green? I mean, he's disgusting. He's got to work harder than that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to play the other side a little bit.
Okay.
Remember, he's young. He's a rookie.
Okay, he's a rookie. Okay.
He was in that
makes sense.
The Gobert trade. We got him.
Okay.
The one thing he's got going for him is I feel like he's a lot of times in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
He's got a knack of being in the right spot under the rim where somebody can feed off or dish up top.
Right.
At the right time, which is probably a lot harder to teach than just, hey, you got to be tougher.
Here's where you got to be. Yeah, but if he can't finish any of those great positions he's standing in, what's the bloody point?
The bloody point is the alternative is Azubuike, who can't stay healthy, and when he does is below average. So I see Kessler playing above Azubuike for the first portion of the year, for sure.
Azubuike and Zion Williams, I always compared those two. I know that obviously Zion is a lot more hype, right? Okay. But like body mass, and almost the way they
athleticism.
Look. I feel like when they're both
Azubuike
healthy,
throws down hard.
Yeah. So, and both of them are injured all the time. So I'm wondering if that's just a thing. We need to avoid that particular body type because it's not sustainable in the league.
I don't know.
But so you're a fan of Kessler.
I'm a Kessler fan. He was a surprise to me because I was expecting him to come in and be more of a awkward, uncoordinated, big guy.
Yeah.
Just your typical big white guy, you know?
Okay, so this isn't part of our segment, but it's going to be now.
Go.
Scale of 1 to 10 on him as a new player on the team. Where do you rate him?
I got to know my benchmarks. I got to know what a 0 is. Is a 0 like off the team, get out of
A 0 is
he shouldn't be on the team.
Shouldn't be on the team.
And a 10 is like
A 10 is great
Whoa.
bang for our buck. Like he should be a starter.
I'm gonna say as of right now, 4 preseason games, like 6.5.
Wow, good for you.
So he's on the high end of me,
Okay.
and I feel like you're much lower than that.
I like, and I'm gonna slaughter this name. Markkanen?
Something like that.
Markkanen?
Markkanen? I've heard Markkanen.
I like the aggressiveness on him.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit more fire in his step and in between plays. Remember that factor we were missing when Crowder left?
You see some of that?
I see just a hint. You know?
Okay.
And for a preseason game to see a little bit of that, I'm like, okay, maybe this guy can get fired up. And I love to see that in a player. And I think that goes beyond skill set sometimes.
You know what I think that is he was lights out on fire in the European tournament this summer. And I think that carried over. His confidence has got to be through the roof.
Right.
I'm sure that's the best he's played in his life was in that. And I think it's showing. And in the preseason, and I'm going to say in the regular season, he's going to lead us in scoring.
Do you see him as a starter?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
He can play. He can score.
Are he and Kessler in the same position on the court?
I see. That's what I don't know. I feel like Coach Hardy is so experimental right now.
Right.
And there's lineups after lineups after lineups, and he's playing 12, 15 guys sometimes, and it's like I think he's trying to figure it out too.
Okay.
So I have no answer. I'm sorry.
By the way, on Kessler, I give him a 5.
Okay.
And on Markkanen, I'm going to call him Mark,
Okay, Marky Mark.
also known as Marky Mark. I'm going to give him a 7. What are you thinking on him?
Yeah, 7, 8. He's up there.
And
he's
he has
gonna be one of
curly
our best
hair, a little bit more character than Kessler. You know.
It makes a huge difference.
Speaking of hair, there's one more guy on the team.
How are we speaking of hair? I'm looking through the team and I'm like,
The other white guy.
Olynyk.
Yes,
Great hair.
Yes, great hair.
Great hair.
I wouldn't it be funny if he got like a sponsor through
Like Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be
If he was on the commercials or just slap his face on the bottle, I'm buying it.
100%.
100%.
100%. Either headbands or shampoo. If you are a sponsor or a manufacturer of either of those products, you need to call this guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
he is the ideal guy.
And of course, mention our names and get that in there, you know.
And send us whatever you need.
Blah,
to,
blah, blah. Olynyk's been fine.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He seems fun. He looks like a volleyball player to me most of the time, but
Okay.
he is good at basketball.
Yeah. I mean, he's a veteran now, which is weird
Yeah.
because he still seems like he's new in the league. But
Yeah.
anyway, he's going to be good. What's your thoughts on the returners, mostly Conley and Clarkson? Where do you see them fitting? Do they stay on the team through the trade deadline? What are your expectations there?
Who can predict what Danny Ainge is going to do? He's crazy. He's a madman.
We talked a little bit about that on the way here.
Yeah.
Here being Fizz, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to our sponsors here in Richfield.
Fizz drinks, everybody. We got to turn these the right way. Oh, I have it right.
Yeah.
We're doing
What
good.
are you drinking?
I'm drinking a 32-ounce Chandler Bing, which is just a delight.
Chandler Bing. I wonder who that is.
If you if you have a Fizz around you, or if you're in Richfield, Utah,
Yeah.
come swing by Fizz.
Yeah.
We're always here.
We're
the people
here.
here are great. Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Yeah, they're loving
Nobody's
us.
looking over
Huge,
here.
Huge crowd. Huge crowd.
No, so shout out to them. They're great. They always invite us in. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they're a great studio sponsor.
And with that, I don't remember where we were.
Okay, we were talking about the returners.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Clarkson seems a little disorientated to me. He just seems off his game, not himself. I know he's been talking to he's been interviewed a few times, and he's talked about how he wants to slow down his game and not be as sporadic and not be such a quick shooter, but slow down and dial it in. I'm not sure that's where his strength is, but it would be good for his percentages to be higher. But he's going to be lost for a little while until he figures out that side of his game.
How much of that do you test to? He's feeling some pressure. Because
A
as
lot.
of now, I'm looking at our guys, and Clarkson's probably, arguably, our most talented player on the team.
Right. Even though you're saying that over Mike Conley.
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
So And he was a lot on the promotional material for the new jerseys and stuff.
Right.
Do you think he's feeling some heat and pressure for having to perform without all of our studs from last year?
I mean, you drop Bogey and you drop Mitchell. I mean, that's a huge point deficit on the board that has to be soaked up somewhere. And, I mean, these new guys, no matter how many of them are on there, no matter how fresh their legs are through the rotation, that doesn't mean points on the board. So Clarkson has to be feeling the pressure right now. So there's a weight on his shoulder. There's a whole new rotation. There's a whole new coach. He's I wish him the best. I hope it works out. I hope that he can grasp it and take the bull by the horns and just play his game. That's what I don't want him to change his style. I want him to be as comfortable as he can, and I think that's just him playing his game regardless of what's happening around him.
So do you think he has a new role for the team?
Yeah,
I do too.
I still think Conley's bringing it down. And Conley's been good. He's just been what Conley is every time. He's more of a seasoned leader than he is, I don't know, mentality-wise on the team than he is on the court. What are your thoughts on Conley?
Absolutely. I've seen him a ton. He sat one of the games. It seems like every time the camera panned over to him, he was always in somebody's ear. Right, he was talking to Sexton. He was talking to whoever about what's going on in the game. He's going to be that guy for us. Because of that and because of our position, we're going to talk about that in a minute when we come to the draft.
Yeah.
I don't see Conley playing as much as he has.
Really? You think his minutes will go down?
I think his minutes will go down. He'll be there for leadership, locker room role, as well as he'll be our starting point guard,
Right.
But I see him playing 25 minutes or so.
Wow. On Clarkson, I do wonder if he doesn't perform well this season, does he lose some collateral value for Utah and for other teams? And I've heard discussions of Jazz management thinking this isn't the best scenario for him and his future value. So there is a slight possibility we could expect him to be traded by the deadline in order for his career to stay at a high value and for him to be in a position where he can excel, which is kind of sad for Utah, but, I mean, it might be a reality.
I could see that being a reason. In addition to he's one of our best players, and if you didn't notice, we're getting rid of all of our best players.
Oh, right. Yes, I did notice that.
And the big reason is, you like this transition, is next year's draft is bonkers right now.
Gaston.
Tyson's calling him Gaston, everybody.
You've seen the movie.
Because why?
Because no one spits like Gaston. No one's ripped like Gaston.
Because he's French. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, that's it. Because he's a big beast from France. Let's just go with that.
The unanimous number one pick next year's draft, 18-year-old Victor Wembanyama. Okay?
Also known as Gaston.
Yes, as of right now.
Yeah.
And he is the most hyped draft prospect, I'm going to say, of all time. More so than LeBron was out of high school.
Okay, so two things, and then I need
the hype. The hype is more so.
I need an answer out of you.
Okay.
One, we've seen photos of him next to Rudy Gobert.
It's insane.
He looks like Rudy's big brother. But what are the realistic chances of him in a Utah jersey?
Oh, I like this. I'm a math guy.
I need you to tell me.
I'm a math guy here.
I mean, it's fun to play fantasy basketball. I mean, let's talk real. What's the chances?
So the draft lottery has changed in the last couple of years. So right now, the bottom three teams in the league, the whole league, Western and Eastern, they take the three worst records. Those teams have a 14% chance at the number one pick.
Okay.
And then they have a 15, 18% chance at number two, something like that. But 14% is the highest odds we can have of landing this guy. And he is generational. This is all if he's healthy at all times, which he's 7'4". Not many of those guys have stayed healthy, but if he's healthy, generational talent, complete franchise changer from day one. He's unbelievable.
So was Zion. The hype on Zion was the same.
When healthy.
Right.
We're only saying when healthy.
Thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just and I'm
14%.
I like numbers too, but 14 times. I mean, where's the other 50%?
Well, it goes down to pick 15. Pick 15.
So it just gets more and more diluted throughout, all the way to 15.
So like the 15th worst record has like a 0.3%, something around there. It's all what it is.
So Utah needs to lose a lot of games and learn how to speak French, and then that might increase the some more fans here. Our chances of him actually coming to Utah.
Yeah.
Right? The French.
Which is kind of, it's might make this season a little bit easier to swallow. We're going to lose a lot of games. Strictly because you look at our guys, we're rarely going to be the more talented team on the floor.
We know.
I think we can agree there, right?
Moneyball.
So if we win a game, that's freaking awesome. I love winning games, right? If we lose the game, just remember, fans, we're that much closer to a draft pick.
Think about the end game. We're playing the long game here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're also saying top 5 picks are all really good. Number 2 is fantastic as well.
Right.
So a lot going on there.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you talk about watching a lot of losses this year, I think we're going to have to stay focused on plays and, that was a great shot. That was, I don't know, that was a great pick and roll. That's what we're going to have to live off.
Watch a lot of highlights.
Watch a lot of highlights. If you just watch the 9-minute, make it 6-minute highlight video that'll come out on Utah, you can live by that. I mean, that's still fun. That's still fun.
Yeah. I think we're going to be in a lot of games through like 2.5, 3 quarters, and then it's going to show who the better team is, and we're going to get
a lot
taken
like the
care of in the
preseason
fourth.
game in Dallas, where it was super close. We had, I think in the first half there was 17 different lead changes, and then coming to the second, super competitive. Everybody played hard, but the team with the most talent in the fourth quarter usually shows their colors, and of course, we showed ours, which we got a big L on that.
Because we work hard, like you said. We're going to have people hustling and working, and that gets you by for a lot of the time. But fourth quarter comes, playoffs come, everything slows down, and it funnels through your best players. And right now, our best players are never better than their best players.
That's
so
right. Never.
It comes down to that.
Speaking of hustle, Sexton, have you watched his hustle, watched his play? He's super aggressive. He's my number one new player as far as the one that I'm going to watch, and I have some high expectations for him on the court.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fun. He loves the game.
For sure, you can tell.
Yes, exactly. He goes hard. He's going to make a ton of mistakes, but you're going to love him for it because he's going hard. So that's
sure.
I like Sexton too. I like Vanderbilt. I like a lot of these guys. It's going to be fun.
Butler. Jared Butler got traded. I mean,
just dropped. We didn't even trade him.
Waived him.
Waived.
Goodbye.
Do you think that word came from actually waving?
Yeah, when they came into the office of the GM and he was like, "Sorry, you don't actually need to come in here.
you're getting waived.
Bye."
We're gonna take a quick break real quick.
Yeah. Let's do it.
We're gonna take a quick break for an ad. When we come back, we do have a new segment that you're not gonna want to miss. What are you calling it? This is your kind of your thing.
Well, I told you I'd come up with it on the spot. So
this is the spot. So go ahead.
This is the.
He's flipping through hundreds of papers right now, and stress beads are coming down his head.
We're kind of.
You know what? You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back after these.
All right, let's get to that. I can't tell him yet.
NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball season is back, so tip off this season with DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So new customers, by the way, if you make any $5 NBA moneyline bet, so if you bet on any team to win and you get it right, your team wins, you get $200 in free bets if your team wins.
I like those. Those odds are pretty good. I will probably bet $5, not 500.
Let's take. You still only get the $200, I think.
It starts with the 5. I mean, along with your usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings. They've stepped up their same game parlays, my friends.
Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a stepped up same game parlay today. Calling it, that's a tongue twister. They're calling it the Stepped Up Same Game Parlay.
I like it. Today. You forgot the today, baby.
Today.
With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sports King is where I'm going to go to make my bets. And I've seen the stats for the Jazz this season, and I'm a little more optimistic than them, so I will be placing a bet on the Jazz to win more than the bookies are saying. I got a little bit more faith in the Jazz than they do.
So have you ever been asked, like, oh, who do you think is going to win this game or whatever? And then they ask you, they follow up and say, well, how much money would you bet on it?
Oh, all the time.
All the time. Put your money where your mouth is. Find a matchup you like, obviously the Jazz, and take a chance. You get $200 free if the Jazz wins, and then you're on to bigger and better things.
Super easy. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code TBPN. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Check it out.
See our show notes down at the bottom of this episode for details,
yes,
for more details on that.
That's right. I am going to try this out and make sure it's super easy.
We should do it. We should do it live on the air one of these times.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, maybe next week.
Absolutely. We'll make a betting podcast.
TBPN is your promo code to get all these.
That's how we're going to hook you guys up with the chance to win $200 off of your first $5 bet, which is incredible. All right, guys. I'm glad that's over with. Let's get back into the podcast. Our new segment, okay?
This is fun. Do you still don't have a name, I'm sure?
Oh, I do.
Oh, good for you. It's been like 4 minutes.
Okay, so it's a new year, new season, new coach, new team, new floor, new jersey, new lineup, new roster. And this is the new Jazz Beats Knowledge segment.
That's fine.
Is it? What do you mean? It's
fine. You had all that time.
Yeah.
You had 4 entire minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Nobody
that's
came
fine.
up with anything else
It's
better.
fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right. Well.
So what are we doing? Talk to me.
First off, if somebody has a better name for this segment, they're welcome to email or call in. Fax or Morse code is preferable. Okay, so this is an interesting segment because people think that they're a good Jazz fan, and
we all do.
We all do.
We all do.
I would consider it. I can look at someone and think, you're kind of wishy-washy. But do you ever have a friend that just really thinks they're a good Jazz fan, but you're not so sure if they really are?
I have many.
So this is where we're going to prove people. We're going to call people out, right? So we're gonna have somebody come on. We're going to make a phone call. We're going to bring on a guest onto the podcast, and we're going to ask him 3 simple questions. If he can answer all 3 questions correctly, he's a great Jazz fan.
Maybe the greatest.
The greatest.
The greatest of Jazz fans.
The greatest Jazz fan of this week.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, well, he's the worst Jazz
fan.
fan.
Then he's the worst. There's no in between in this, right?
There is no 60% fail. It's either you're really great or you're just the worst Jazz fan because you should know these answers. And you can't call yourself a good Jazz fan after that.
Right. Until you may have a redemption arc down the road.
Right. And these questions will get harder as they go on.
Okay.
The first one should be pretty easy.
Why don't you call our first customer?
Let's get him on here. I'm excited.
Are we saying? Can we say his name?
Well, let's just ask him if he's okay with that.
Okay. Introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Man, folks, I hope you're excited for this.
Hello?
Oh, who do we have on the phone with us today?
Jordan Porter.
We weren't sure if we could say your name on there. We didn't really get your signature or anything, so we left that up to you to see if you wanted to.
Well, the big thing is I don't usually answer if I don't know the number, so you're lucky I answered.
Yes, of course. You have us saved under what name on your phone?
I think Jazz Beats Podcast or something. I don't know.
And an automatic block at that point.
Well played.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, do you consider yourself a pretty good Jazz fan?
I think I can hold my own with anybody, and I think if you doubt that, you just need to come down to the bank and see my bobblehead collection displayed proudly on my desk.
Wow.
We know Jordan personally. Can we need to kind of share what he got going for him a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
Jordan won some contest that Jazz went on. You can explain it if you'd like, but we live about 2 or 3 hours south of Salt Lake. So it's a trek up to Jazz games. And he got the Jazz to come down, swing by with the party bus, with the Jazz bus, and take him up to the game. He won this contest. Jordan's a real fan, is what I'm saying.
So are you, if you had to put your money where your mouth is, would you bet $5 that Jordan's going to get these all right?
Absolutely. I have all the faith in you, Jordan.
Wow. All right, the pressure is on, Jordan. How you feeling?
I mean, that is some pressure. I've been in a lot of pressure situations in my life, and, I like pressure because those are the moments you live for, right? But I'm a little nervous right now, I'll be honest.
Good. Well, you should be nervous.
You're not alone. I'm actually kind of nervous too, and I have no idea why.
Okay. Well, let's get to the questions. Yeah. And just so our listeners know, when Jordan's done with this, he will be able to recommend another person that he knows that he thinks that they will be able to answer the 3 questions. Not the same 3 questions. They'll change every week, but someone else will will have to prove how good of a Jazz fan they are every week.
Okay.
Do you know who you're going to call out already?
Yeah, I actually had a couple names in mind, but I think for sure by the time we're done here, I'll be able to firmly give you a name.
Perfect. Well, do you want to get into it? Tyson's rearing to ask these questions.
Let's do it.
Are we starting with this one?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
There was a player on the Utah. Question number one. All right. There was a player on the Utah Jazz history who was quite popular. His nickname was Pistol. Do you know Pistol's real name?
Pete Maravich.
Woo!
Hey, 1 for 1. I think I have one of. Oh. Hey, there you go. Good job, Jordan.
The
Good
audience
job.
is very pleased with your answer. Woo, very confident. Good job. Good job. Now we're going to move on to question number 2. No pun intended. How many times there was a Jeff Hornacek, while taking his free throw shots, had a ritual. He would touch his face a certain number of times before shooting the ball. How many times did Jeff Hornacek touch his face?
Before you answer, Jordan, you do have the ability to pass and come back to a question.
This is true.
So that is in the cards.
So a little side note, I believe he did that. I think he was waving to his kids when he did that. That was his way of waving to his kids. I hope that's correct, because that's what I remember. But that's not the answer to the question you specifically asked. I'm just going to go for it. I think it was 3 times.
The survey says.
Oh, I hope you're a gambling man, because that's right.
Jordan, you're the man. 2 for 2.
Oh, man. I was trying to throw you off with the no pun intended on question number 2, but you weren't phased at all. Well played. Well played. He does have 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. And you are correct on your side note knowledge there, proving you're true Jazz fan.
Well, nothing's proven yet.
Oh, that's right.
So
You could still be the worst Jazz fan ever for the week.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the third and final question. Since the Utah Jazz relocated from New Orleans to Salt Lake City, there's been 5 total. Sorry.
We had to do a
6
recount.
Sorry. I don't usually count above 4. So, okay, there's been 6 total head coaches. I need you to name 5 of them, including the current coach.
Okay, so we got Frank Layden. We've got Ty Corbin. We've got Jerry Salone. We've got Quinn Snyder. Oh, man. Well, obviously we got, Hardy now, but that doesn't count.
That's it. That's 5.
that's 5 of the 6.
5. That's 5 of the 6.
Okay.
Which is all we're asking, Jordan.
Give him an
Congratulations. Holy
Give
cow.
this guy a hand. Can you believe it? Holy you are the greatest Jazz fan, Jordan.
Greatest.
Congratulations.
The greatest of all time.
Were you worried on any of those?
So I really didn't know what you were going to ask, and I think any fan with any team, there's stuff you always don't know. So, I was like, wow, I could look really bad because you guys are going to talk me up like I know the Jazz and then watch me go 0 for 3 and feel like crap for the rest of the year,
Yeah, that's a fair concern.
Yeah, and you can't hold that above us. We would definitely do that to a good friend.
I know, I was worried. I know you guys, and I was concerned, but at the same time, I'm proud of myself. I feel special now.
That you should, Jordan.
Well,
good for you.
You are the greatest Jazz fan of the week, so congratulations. So let's talk your next nomination. Who is going to be on next week's podcast?
Okay, I thought about this one. I'm going to go with Eric Peterson. He's a Richfield native, and he has an immense amount of Jazz knowledge, and he is a huge Jazz fan. I think he'll do very well at this.
Well, you reach out to Eric. Was that right, Eric?
Yep.
You reach out to Eric and tell him to be expecting a phone call from us to confirm that it's on.
So, Eric, if you are listening, which you should because you need to get your pregame on, we're coming for you, buddy.
Hey, thanks so much, Jordan. You're the best. And congratulations
thanks.
for being the first Ultimate Jazz fan on the show.
The Ultimate Jazz Fan segment.
I have to say one thing.
Okay, you're up.
Okay.
I know Jackson's worried about what I'm about to say. He doesn't need to be because I'm not going there.
I already know.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to let everybody know that I have the original Jazz prototype Jazz Beats hat that I wear proudly.
That is
I
awesome.
believe it's one of one.
That is
Isn't
a
it
one
the
of
only-
one.
Yeah.
Those are
So if I
available
can
to
get
buy
that
for.
autograph,
Yeah, they're available to buy for $200 if Jordan's willing to sell it to me for $5. That would be really good.
That's fair.
So
Definitely fair.
those are the odds.
I want it autographed by both of you, though. I think that would make it, even more special. So I'll be bringing that by the studio sometime for you guys to sign.
You know what? For a fan, $10.
What?
No, we'll do that for you, Jordan. You're the man.
Shoot, I love it.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Jordan. We'll catch you later. And tune in for next
Yay,
week. Let's see how Eric does.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
See you, man. That was fun.
So the segment's good. The name sucks, but it's going to be better. It's going to be so much better. The Ultimate Jazz Fan segment. Yeah, something.
I love it.
I think it was good.
Something. It may get a new name weekly,
I
which
think so.
just makes it more fun.
Yeah, that way we can say we have a new segment every week.
Hey, before we go, let's get on to a little bit of expectations for the year.
Okay, yeah.
Where do you see us at? Where do you want us to be at? I know we talked about the draft, but it's never fun to be in this tanking position. Where would you like us to be, and where do you see us?
20% drop in viewership.
Really?
Yeah, what do you think of that?
That's exciting. No, that's nerve-wracking. But I don't know if you're wrong, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of complaints from fans about just the way things are going and the way things are being ran.
Yes. Okay, so I think that the Jazz are going to – the betting odds right now are that the Jazz are going to win 24.5 games for the whole season. I'm going to go with 26.
Okay,
Feeling
you're going the over.
optimistic. Yeah, I'm going the over.
I like it.
I think it's hard. In fact, I've got the next few games here lined up, and we can talk about that right at the end. But I don't see the Jazz obviously making the playoff or the play-in games at the end of the season. I think they will be bottom 5.
Most sites that I've seen have us at the second to bottom.
Wow.
Behind the Spurs. So that's where the nation sees us.
But even when we were good, they saw us at 11.
True.
So stuff them.
True. Can I place a contingency on my prediction?
Yeah.
Okay. If we keep Clarkson, Conley, if we maintain the same team, I'm saying we're over that 24.5 wins. We trade Clarkson, Conley, or one of our starter caliber players, we're going to be under that. Because that's when I'll confirm that Danny Ainge is going to be, okay, we're done. We're not winning more games. Season's over. We're going for that draft pick. Right. And that'll be the clear indicator that we want to be the worst team, the bottom team.
They'll just come in with a white flag. We surrender.
That being said, I think we're going to be fun to watch still because we have a lot of young talent, something to prove guys out there, and they're going to play hard. They're going to play together. It's going to be a fun year to watch if you don't look at the scoreboard.
I just hope that the players have fun because I want them to enjoy their time here in Utah instead of just dreading the time that they got drafted to Utah or traded to Utah so that they could be on a tanking team. That's not how I want the players to remember our state or organization.
I'm pretty sure. I'm convinced that players don't lose games on their own. They're never out there trying to lose a game. They're never out there not playing their best or not trying to succeed and win and make plays. Tanking happens in the front office, and in their ability to mold the team with their players and whatever. So I think you're going to see that this year, that players are going to play hard. They're going to play to win. And they're doing what they love.
But will Will Hardy coach to win games?
Find out next time on. I don't know.
That's a tough question because it goes against everything in a coach's, in their gut to lose a game. But
I don't think so.
If the head office says, well, that's your contract, so.
I think Hardy plays to win.
Okay, good.
It's just the tools he has isn't the best to win.
We've got 5 games coming up before our next podcast. We've got Denver in Utah, Utah in Minnesota, Utah in New Orleans, Utah in Houston, and then back-to-back, Houston will come over to Utah and play us again. out of those 5 games, which, by the way, we've got Joker and Jamal with Denver, which we're going to see, and then we got Rudy Gobert game 2. We are going to be playing against Rudy Gobert for the first time ever. Wild. How many of those games do you think we're going to win and lose out of 5?
I think there's going to be some growing pains. We are going to win one of those games.
Okay. For sure we're going to win Houston one of the times.
Okay.
It's just a gamble whether we're going to win on the second game. But I do think that we will lose the first 3 and win the first Houston game. It's all about that 5th game against Houston back-to-back. Which team adjusts best? That's where we're going to see what type of coach Will Hardy is.
That's right. Anything else?
No, but next recording is going to be a special one, guys. We are going to be on site or off site, however you want to say it. Where will we be?
We're going to Denver to the Utah-Denver game in Denver on the 28th of October.
As part of the team staff.
Right. We'll be behind them, but maybe a ways.
Yeah. So that will be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. The season's back. Win, lose, draw, the season's back, and we get to watch the Jazz play, which is always exciting. I can't wait to see how the season goes. I'm giddy. It's basketball season. This is my favorite time of year.
It'll be fun. And our wife's least favorite part of the year.
Exactly. Hey, thank you, everybody, for listening. This is Jazz Beats. I'm Jackson.
This is Tyson.
We're happy to have you,
Yes.
and we'll see you later.